everyone, and welcome to From Ashes to Beauty podcast. Here we validate, educate, and empower one talk at a time. Hey. All right, guys. So for those who don't know me, I am Felicia B. I'm a mom. I'm an entrepreneur. And I'm just fun. Yes, girl. Right. I'm just everything. So that was like my introduction, right? Right. So, we have two of my beautiful, beautiful people that are so dear to me. And I don't want to introduce them because I think I'd be like doing too much. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves. So we're going to start over here. Okay. So I have my beautiful friend. Her name is Tati. Should I call her Tati or Lily? Woodland. Girl, they can call me what they want. So, but like Tati is like the hot name. Yeah. Right? So okay, we're gonna stick with Tati. So this is Tati. And we met like maybe we met at work. Yes. We were co-workers at like this crazy job that we both were like, crazy is the key word. The job was like insane. And like we remained friends after that. Yeah, and it's been lovely. Do you remember they were like, oh, I saw your twin sister? Girl. They used to call us twins. Remember that? I didn't even meet you yet. And you're like, is your sister working? And she started, you're like, I don't have a sister. I have a twin. I'm like, cool. Like, I had to find you. I'm like, oh, okay, I see. I see why you're yeah. And I was kind of happy because I'm like, all right, she's pretty. I mean, she's... Girl, can you imagine? I know. I came looking like a old girl, like, hello, sister. Oh my God. No, yeah. All right, just kidding. But all right, so go ahead and introduce and let the people know where you're from. Yeah.
Okay, hi. Like I said, my government name is Woodland, but everyone calls me Tati. So you guys can Tati. You can find me on Instagram, Tati_DJuicy, if that makes any sense. So a little bit about myself. I am currently in grad school studying psychology. I am very passionate about people. I work at a high school, Irvington High. I've been there for like a good 7 years now. I am married. I am a wife of 6 years come October. And I have 2 kids. It's ghetto over here. But 2 kids. My daughter will be 2 and my son is 3. What else? I like walks in the park. What color is it?
All right, gangs. All right, so this person right here is, I'm sorry if your introduction wasn't that deep, but I've known her for practically all my life, and she is my BFF. I met her when I was 14, maybe 12, 13. 12 or 13. So she knows me the best. So, but she's also an awesome person. So I'm gonna let her introduce herself before we get down to the nitty gritty.
Okay. Hi, my name is Levita. As she stated before, we've known each other since 12, maybe 13. I just want to give a little brief background of how we met.
No, like what? No, that's not what this is supposed to be. You're supposed to introduce yourself. Like no,
I had to show her how to play She's like, I had to show her how to play basketball.
Oh.
I'm just going to leave it in a nutshell for that.
Thank you.
So I am an entrepreneur. My business is LV's Sweet Trees. I just changed the name, so I'm trying to get used to it. So I've been in doing this for, actually, I've been baking since 12, 13.
Yeah.
But to actually make it a business, it's been about 8 years now. I also work in the fashion industry. I will not disclose the name. And I am a wife. I have 2 children, 20 and 16. But the 16-year-old act like she's 50.
Don't be all.
Yeah. And yeah, that is basically it.
That sounds good. So now I wanted to start with the verse of the day because I know I'm going to get a lot of questions of like, how did you come up and what does from ashes to beauty mean? So we're going to have the verse of the day. So the book, because we are faith-based, we're going to talk about God. We're going to talk about real life situations, but we want it to be at the center of God, as you know. So the verse of the day is Isaiah 61:3. So it says to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. So, do you guys get it?
Yeah.
What do you think that means?
Just to,
Tati?
for me, I just see like stay on the positive side. It can always be a negative, but this is where we want to be at.
Yeah,
Not despair, just positive. Yeah.
I see more deeper than that.
Girl, that's me.
I'm not gonna go that deep because I want us to like really talk about a lot of things, but I feel like that just comes like from a place of like trauma. Like if you've been through like deep stuff, and God is telling you that I can take those ashes and I can make it. I can make you beautiful. I can make your situation beautiful again. Like so that's how like I see it. How about you, Vita? Vita.
I'm going to use these two words. In life, I feel like people can be consistent or persistent.
Mm.
Right? And I think persistent is way more stronger than being consistent because you need to be consistent in the midst of being persistent because no matter how rough the road gets or how easy the road may seem, being consistent what makes it persistent.
Yeah. So that's pretty much, if anyone watches further episodes, you can go back to the first one. This is what Ashes to Beauty means, and this is what the birth of the podcast means. So I wanted to do a this or that.
I love this a lot.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay. So Kit Kat or Snickers?
I'm a
Snickers.
Snickers, yeah.
What?
It's so filling.
I like it.
You still
got
be hungry
the
after
crunch and
Kit
the- Yeah.
Wait, you don't like the wafers with the chocolate? You got
But
some
you still
wafers.
be hungry.
Snickers fool you? It can't supposed to be a snack.
Listen, you eat enough of them.
Oh, okay. So I'm outnumbered. I'm doing Kit Kat all day. Starburst or Skittles?
Yeah,
Starburst.
Skittles.
Like
Yeah, I'll
Starburst.
Starburst be off.
Yeah, it's get to your teeth and stuff. I'll do Skittles.
I like it gets stuck at the top of
Do you like?
it makes the candy last longer.
But I don't like eat any of those now. Anyway, that was just by the way.
Yeah.
That was my childhood. All right, all black or all white? All white.
Oh, wait.
Listen, it depends on the event because you could spaz all black up with
You
something.
can.
So it depends on the.
So Jesus is fashionista over here.
It depends on the mood and the event. But I will say like 70% all white.
Yeah, I mean I like the meaning behind all white. I feel like
Yeah.
black always like
Gloomy.
yeah, black is kind of like gothic or funerals. And are you like the daughter of darkness? Like, God forbid, I like the light, okay?
It's godly.
Yeah, it's godly. I don't know. I do all white. I'll do white. So, this is like the last one. And I'm so excited to hear what you guys make. Sneakers or heels? I already know what your answer's going to be.
I think I like it. Well, I mean, listen, okay, over the years, my buddies coming in. It's a little rough down there. But I do love heels. Heels are like, it's jazzy, it's sexy, it's sensual,
It is.
girly. You can still be girly with sneakers, but I think I do love the heels.
Yeah. I like heels too, but I think like I'm just like, as I started having kids and like just want to throw on your little, yeah.
Be comfortable.
I mean, I'm forced to wear heels to certain outfits. Like, you can't go to church with a nice little dress and have sneakers anymore. So, I already know your answer, but
Well, hands down heels, but
see?
a good flat. Needs to go along with those heels. 'Cause sometimes you can't bear it for so long.
Oh, but flats is cool, but yeah. How about sneakers? I think you're a sneaker person
I am a
sometimes.
sneakerhead.
Yeah, a sneakerhead too.
It
All right.
depends.
So, thank you so much for playing this or that. All right, so moving along. So, as we're adults, because I've known you for a couple years, I think I was like a little bit younger than I am now.
Yeah.
And then I've known you forever. Like, you just know me like in all stages in life. But I feel like we've kind of gone through life enough to know, like, to weigh the balance between healthy relationships and unhealthy relationships. And I'm not just referring to intimate, like, boyfriend, husband. I'm talking about friendships too.
Mhm.
So, like, what is your take on unhealthy and healthy relationships, and how do you know, like, when you're in either or?
My take on healthy and unhealthy. All right, so I think like coming up, like when we're, let's say, like middle school, elementary school, high school, everyone wants to fit in so badly.
That's true.
That we don't care who the friend is.
Yeah.
And especially in high school, people gravitate more to like the bad kids, I guess.
Yeah.
Because they're funny, the class clowns, and those aren't necessarily the best friends to have around. But because you're in that environment and you want to fit in, you want to be accepted, you take in those friends, right? And you don't realize how much they influence you.
Yeah.
So now you become that person that you really aren't.
Yeah.
And we don't realize this until we, grow older, we graduate.
Yeah.
And now we're trying to get into careers, we're trying to, establish our, whatever the case.
Yeah.
And we're realizing that lifestyle, that whoever those friends were, they're trying to kind of like pull you down and keep you where they're at.
Yeah.
And that's when we realize, like, okay, well, I gotta take this person out. Like, you gotta sift out, the good and the bad friends. So that's when we learn the good and the bad friends. What's the second part?
You answered it, but like I'm gonna piggyback on what you said. I really feel like and then also like being grown up in like a Christian home, I always felt like I was like battling two lives. Like I gotta do right, or like if I go to church, I'm gonna feel like some type of like condemnation. Like, but I had to like I was battling between like trying to fit in, trying to do because like she'll check like I was not a saint, but like I found my way because of like my upbringing in the church and stuff like that. And then after a while, you kind of like in you, because sometimes like if we're broken within ourselves and we don't like we lack boundaries, it's hard to like create those boundaries with those friends. Like, listen, I'm not rolling with you anymore. Like, I need to go to church. Like, I need to like go pray. Not saying like you're perfect and everything's supposed to be like. Because we're all a work in progress. Yeah. But there are people, like you said, that are just like weight holders. You're like in the same place and you're not going anywhere. And that's from like childhood all the way up until adulthood. Like even now I can count on my hands how many friends I got.
Girl, less is more. We didn't realize that less is more. Back then we want to be, the cool kids table was like,
you trying to go to Taquan table and Shaniqua's table, right?
And it's like 10, 20 of them.
Yeah.
And as we now in adulthood, like, I'll say I have a good maybe 5 people that I'm like, consistently stay in touch with, like, genuinely care about these people. The other ones, I'll catch with you on.
And honestly, we're moms now too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not married. I know the two of you are. I'm single. I'm newly happily divorced.
Bring it back.
No, and so it has its pros and it has its cons, but I'm waiting for God's choice. But like as being a mom, your priorities change.
Exactly.
Like no one has time to be running and doing things that are not going to benefit your future. Like what can that do for me? Like a friendship shouldn't be based on like what someone could do for you. I don't want like that to be taken out of context.
But at the same time,
like if I call you and I'm crying, can you like help me? Can you empower me? Can you give me words of encouragement? Or are you gonna like make the situation worse?
Yeah.
Or are you gonna project what I'm feeling or invalidate? Right? Because we're validating.
Yeah.
What you think, Vita?
So, on the healthy and unhealthy
section,
I'm so nervous. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna call you doctor. I'm gonna call you Doctor Vita. You're like,
I have really bad anxiety.
Look at me.
Okay.
Yeah. So what do you think?
My perception of healthy versus unhealthy. Healthy is like it's some of the stuff I will say is repetitive.
Yeah.
It's like it's definitely a work in progress, but actually acknowledging, hey, I'm sorry I did this to you, but let me apologize and work on me and let's move forward. Let's not hinder on the past. Let's just try to work on the future because holding on to that is also unhealthy.
Yeah.
Right? And just an overall unhealthy is just like, I'm doing this to you, you're going to deal with it. I'm going to do this to you, you're going to deal with it. Yeah. Oh, how dare you?
Yeah.
That's narcissist behavior.
Ooh, that's for another episode. It's done. Because I have a doctorate in that.
Yeah. And it's like, being mature and just admitting, like, I'm not the best person in
Yeah.
the world, but I am a work in progress. If that's not there, it's totally
Unhealthy.
because
Yeah.
it's going to be so combative with whoever they're encountering. We know some people.
Girl.
We know some
But like, do
people.
you think they're actually capable? See, I feel like some people are capable of actually wanting change, making effort, getting the help that they need. And some people mentally can't even process that they're the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but so if it's in a situation like that and you have, let's say, 10 people and one person is the opposite. These 10 people are saying, like, hey, I see that this is hurting me.
Yeah.
And it's a constant, you're the common denominator. There's a constant issue with amongst different people, and it doesn't even have to be in the same continent, region, or upbringing. They all have this same common issue with you.
Right.
And when you want to look in the mirror and say, look, I think I'm perfect. Oh, okay. I think I'm perfect, but these people are saying that this is the problem. This is the problem I'm having with you. Maybe I need to take a step back and just analyze what they're actually saying.
Yeah.
That's
But this
called
one
self-reflection, though.
Mm-hmm.
Some people can't self-reflect.
Yeah.
Right.
If you have the ability to self-reflect, then that's when you know that you can actually bring about change.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't think they're the problem.
Yeah.
And those type of people need to help themselves. You cannot be their lifesaver. Like, you're just going to have to let them be until they figure it out. Unless they're willing to say, okay, you know what, this person is saying this, she's not the first person.
Right.
Let me go. Because hurt people hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Broken people break people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not fair. I feel like some friendships I had in the past, it was always about me pouring into them. And I don't pour in expecting, like, I poured into you today on Tuesday, so on Wednesday you better pour back. Like, no, that's not what it's about. But it should be a two-way street. Like, if I give you money tomorrow, can you pray for me? I'm not asking for you the money back.
Yeah.
But like, can you, like, is there something, like, because my cup is empty from me giving you. I need it to be refilled.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's like, you got to know. Now we talk about friendships. How do you know unhealthy and healthy relationships? And I'm not going first. Because I feel like I keep talking and I'm like,
Okay, I'll go. So, I guess you will know if you're in an unhealthy relationship, you will feel it. Like, it drains you.
Oh, drain. It's a magic word. Yeah.
I can think back to some friendships that I had, and somebody will call you and they're like, hey girl, what you doing? You want to come over? And your inside is like, oh God.
Oh, yeah.
But because you want to please that person, you're like, okay, give me a minute.
Yeah.
You gotta put your face on and
like you're pretending to be happy.
and it takes up so much energy to force that relationship and to be with that person.
Yeah.
It's like either it's their energy that you just feel it's not a good energy that you want to be around, or it's the things that they partake in that you don't, you probably grew from that.
Yeah.
And that person's still there.
Yeah.
So your intuition does speak to you. A lot of times we don't really want to listen to it. Or we can't process what is my body is reacting in a certain type of way. Why is that?
Yeah.
So I think that's one way that you can tell if it's not a negative relationship or something. But a positive one is one that it almost feels like a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
The person calls you, you're like, oh my God, I was just thinking about you.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Okay, let's plan a date. You're genuinely excited to meet that person, be with them, catch up online.
Right.
Even on your own time, I find myself I pray for you all the time. A lot of my I think about them, and I'm like, it's not. I'm not gaining anything from it.
Yeah.
I just genuinely want good for my friend.
Yeah.
So things like that, people that you're thinking of,
Yeah.
and like you say, you're not expecting anything back.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take anything to pray for someone or to call and check in on someone.
Check-ins are that costs money,
Mm-hmm.
and it's free. Listen, seriously, does that make sense? That is golden.
Yeah.
Honestly, you can give me nothing just to check up and I know someone cares.
Mm-hmm.
Still, So Vita, what do you think?
Ditto.
I can't.
No. So I want to piggyback off of what you said, how someone that can be draining.
Yes.
And there could be times where this person or best friend or the significant other may call you and say, "Hey, let's hang out. Hey, let's hang out." Meanwhile, you're going through your own stuff,
Right.
right? And that acknowledgement there is like, "Hey, I think I need to sit this one out,
Yeah.
right?" And I'm just going through my own thing. And they just bypass all that and like, "Well, you still gonna hang out?" And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"You
They're
care?"
invalidating. Like
Yeah.
that's what they're invalidating how you're feeling.
I don't. No, because you just like, oh, fun, 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 fun. It's not always fun every day. Because everyone goes through their own problems. Everyone goes through stress. Everyone goes through happiness. We're all human.
Yeah.
But to just drop everything when you say how high,
Yeah.
jump, and I'm supposed to say how high?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not
And then
realistic.
sometimes I think it could be intentionally, and sometimes it could be not really intentional.
Right.
Like I feel like sometimes people don't like to always be in that dark space sometimes. And sometimes it's not like a dark space. Like I feel like when you're going through, I think I'm piggybacking for friendship, but like when you go through something, sometimes some friends want to bring you out of it and you just don't want to be bothered with it. You know what I mean? So it could be that too. But then also you're right. Some people are just like not validated. They don't care what you want to go through. I just want you to come to the club with me today.
Yeah.
Like, like, no, how about we go to a therapy session together? How about you drive me to my therapy session? Something like that. Like, you know, and then like even with like if you're in a like an intimate relationship, you know, like I feel like if you're going through so much behind closed doors, it like you're gonna know like the effects like some of the signs that you're gonna know you're in an unhealthy relationship is like you don't like hang out with friends whether you have that choice or not. We're gonna talk about that on another episode. But you don't do the things that you wanted to do before. Your lack of motivation is not there for life. Like you know, like oh, like in a healthy relationship, you guys like think okay. So people confuse being in a healthy relationship, unhealthy relationship. A healthy relationship is not always going to be perfect.
Yeah.
But you're not going to feel drained.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to feel like there's a weight pulling you down.
Yeah.
You're not going to feel like that person is changing you. You're going to feel like that person is helping you to grow.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to feel like that person is fun to be like for the 95% of the time. Right? 95% of the time. They give you butterflies. You're constantly dating each other. They know they're not perfect, so they're making efforts that you can't see. You can't see with your naked eye. Not just words, you know? Because someone, and trust me, this is from experience, but I'm trying to stay on topic before that's another whole episode. But like, I feel like from experience, like people will tell you with their mouths, I'm going to change. If you're in a relationship, I'm going to change. My favorite one is I'm going to go to counseling. That's like my favorite ultimate one. Never step foot in the door.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's how you know like when something is unhealthy and it's not really going to change. Those are not regular issues that happen in a healthy relationship. A healthy relationship, you're going to have issues.
Yeah.
But the next party is going to try to make effort to make things better.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you know like you're in a healthy, unhealthy. Because this was like, I'm gonna mess in that area. That's fine, but I'm gonna work on it tomorrow. Okay, like you're admitting it. You're actually taking accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot,
Girl, I wanted to bounce off one thing you asked.
Okay, no problem.
That a healthy relationship isn't always perfect.
Correct.
And so that can mean you calling me out on my junk.
Right.
You know? Because if you see me messing up,
right,
you're like, that's my friend. I don't want to get her mad. Let me just let her be.
That's true.
That's not a friend.
That's not a friend.
But if you could call me out like, girl, now you know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I don't care, like, even in the moment, I might feel a little way.
Yeah.
But because I know it's coming out of love, listen, I could be in my little funky feeling for a second. Yeah. But I'll come to and I'll realize like, okay, she care about me because
And then I like to kind of like as I got older. When I was younger, I just say whatever comes to my mind. I had no filter. She'll tell you. But as I've gotten older, I'll be like, hey, like I want to tell you something. Is it okay? Do you mind if I share my opinion? Yeah. I don't want you to get mad, but I just really like I kind of do like the little little speech
like
in the beginning.
Orders,
like and then like sure, share. Mm-hmm. She tells me about myself all the time, but I think it's probably like
I can't even remember when I've gotten mad when she kind of tells me because her approach.
Yeah, it's how
Her
you say
approach.
it.
Yeah, she comes from a place of love, and sometimes I'm like, we have the little word, it's called next. We say it all the time. So I'm like, that was next. You did that, and that was kind of next. And we start laughing, and then we talk about it.
Yeah.
So I think it's also approach too.
Mhm.
Some people can just be kind of like I had someone, I don't want to say like she's a friend, but she was an associate back in the day, and I remember just telling her like, she was dating this guy, and he was just like so bad. And then like I couldn't be that friend that was like, yeah, it's okay, no problem. It was really, really bad. I'm gonna tell you my opinion. Like, I'm gonna tell you my opinion. I'm like, but I'm here to support you. Whatever, is that right? I think that's my approach is around that. Like, whatever your choice is, I'm down. Because I've been in relationships where it took me when I was ready, not when everybody else was ready, not when everybody telling me, let me do my own thing, because you're the one that's emotionally connected to that person. So your friend could tell you, leave him, but you're not the one dating him. You're not the one that spent years in all these memories that I can't let go of, and all these feelings that I can't let go of. So when I'm ready, I'm leaving. But until then, you gonna listen. Until then, you're gonna listen, you're gonna pray for me. Right. And you know what I mean? So it's just like, and when you're ready, and sometimes I feel like as women, we kind of like hang around. We just wait. We want to see that change, but you hang around, you want to see that change, but it's only you that can say, okay, God, like nothing is changing. They keep making empty promises. They're getting worse. And when you are ready, girl, praise break. Praise dance. No, I definitely. No, I'm saying these things that nobody want to talk about. But here, this is a podcast. We're here to validate. We are here to educate, and we are here to empower. We need to empower. Let me do it again. We're here to validate. We are here to educate. We are here to empower. One talk at a time. That was kind of like that. Oh, yeah. So I feel like we all go through, but the problem is you have to distinguish between the two. Like you have to know, like I'm in a healthy relationship, but we're going somewhere. We're fasting. We're praying together. He or she is actually coming to therapy. We're actually taking accountability. That's our favorite one, right? Accountability. I did this. This is my fault in this. In my past relationship, I took about, you know what? I was broken. I was broken because I didn't know prior to get into that relationship. Not broken in a bad way where I'm going to break someone else, but broken in a bad way where I lacked boundaries. I looked for validation in the wrong people and things. I didn't realize until I got out of certain relationships. I'm like, wow, I'm still into therapy. Girl, I'll probably be there for the rest of my life. Ain't nothing wrong with being in therapy. Nothing is wrong with it. Because people feel like when there's a problem, then that's when you run to therapy. Not necessarily, because life doesn't stop until you go to our maker. Life continues. Life always is going to have trials and tribulations. Come on. Amen. Amen. Yes. Life be life. I like that one. Life is always going to be. You're always going to have issues. And you're always going to need someone to talk you through those issues so that you don't fall back into being broken or not get into the path of fully healing. Because healing is like, that's another topic. You need like 3 and 4 episodes. No, it's true. It's very true. We're going to need a lot of episodes to talk about healing. And healing, briefly, just to talk on it, is like, it's a grief process. And it depends on what you're healing from.
Because you got to, whatever you're healing from, you got to mourn that situation, and be able to move on from it. And finding your new norm. Like,
And it depends on how traumatic it was. And how invested you were.
And how long.
That's true. I don't know. Because sometimes I feel like if you're in something that is so toxic just for a second, and you get that poison, your poison is like what I call it. It don't matter how long. It could be like 5 months. People will be in a mental ward. God forbid. It depends on what they do. It depends on what it is. Because if you have someone like, okay, say you're in let's talk about like a family relationship. Say you're, I know. Oh, that's what you were talking about? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. It depends. Like if it's like something that has prolonged for so long, that healing process takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time, and I feel like you may be healing for years, and I feel like that's where we really have to like ask God to come and show us the way, because we could do all these things on our own, but He's the only one. Like I promise you, I could have lost my mind so many times.
Girl, I'm on that moment.
Free.
Yeah, I could have lost. Like, let's be real. Like everyone, like doesn't want to be authentic. They don't want to like, and that's how are we helping other people.
Yeah.
We've lived through certain things. For the younger generations that are coming up, they need to know these things. Like if we can help someone or prevent something, and honestly, now that we sit here, I learned a few things.
Yeah, no, I'm
Seriously.
mental notes.
I was like, oh, yeah, that's right.
Because even with that, what you're saying, like I'm thinking of like for us to prevent our children.
Yes, because she has a girl. She has a girl, and I have, my girl. I'm obsessed with her.
And so we have to do the healing within ourselves, but there's a lot of things we have to unlearn. So that as we're teaching them, it's because now when I say I'm taking a mental note, I can talk. So when you brought up like family, it's a lot of our families hurt us in ways that they think they're helping us a lot of times. And so they're so deep into their like whatever their mindset is, the way they were raised.
Culture too.
So they raised us in a way, but being that we know a little better, it's a little hard to get them out of that habit, whatever it is. So we got to unlearn that.
Yeah.
And unlearning it and learning how to, there's certain things I do with my kids, and I'm like, oh, I hurt my mom and myself.
Yeah.
Like I hit my mom, and I'm like, was that good? Do I like that? Like, let's undo this, like,
And I think, like, culturally, it's like, they like you said, they feel like they're doing good, and they probably meant well, and still do well, but, like, it's just certain things that culturally is abusive.
So I do want to say something.
Sure!
Go ahead,
class. She's like, excuse me.
So, back to the healthy and unhealthy part, right?
Right.
It's healthy sometimes to break away from some family members.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Like, you tell them, like, listen, you've been doing this to me for this long.
Yep.
Goodbye. I love you from a distance.
From a distance. And I feel like Christians kind of like, they don't understand that concept. Like, even with forgiveness, that goes hand in hand too.
Yeah.
Because that person that hurt you, Vita, right? You can forgive them, but choose not to reconcile you.
Right.
Like, you don't have to be like, I forgive you, now you're back into my life so you can hurt me more. No, you don't have to do that. You can love from a distance. That is also forgiveness.
Right.
In my eye, that's how I see forgiveness. I'm going to forgive you because I have to. That's what God has said. We have to forgive one another so that He can forgive us, and I want to be forgiven. However, we're not doing that.
To the left, to the left.
To the left. If it's to the right, I'll help you there too.
Girl, listen.
Okay.
That's very true.
Yeah, that's true, Vita. Like, I feel you. That was the part.
She said it, and I'm like, ooh, I got this family for that. Check off the list. I'll pray for you, sister.
It doesn't matter how much you try. Right? It don't matter how much you try. Whether I used to call it punishment, when you just don't speak to them for a while.
Yeah.
Like, okay, maybe they'll figure it out.
And
then you ease your way back into, and it's like,
and then the cycle continues.
The cycle continues.
Back on punishment.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying. If you're not seeing change, that's what we were talking about earlier. Like, they're gonna work to to change because they value that relationship. Whatever kind of relationship it is, they value that relationship. Okay, I'm hurting my niece. I'm hurting my nephew. What can I do to change? Because I don't want to miss out on milestones. I don't want to miss out on their life. But if that person is still not trying to do that, then that's what you know. Adios, amigo. That's what they say.
Ain't nobody got time for
That was a word.
Yeah, that was a whole word. It's like so many words. I was just like, all right, we good for the day. We done for the episode. Yeah, and I really I think that's awesome that we said that, and we can definitely talk about it some more on that episode. I'm gonna invite you guys back.
Yeah, I'm
like you're stuck. I'm stuck. We about to, but so I want to talk about something before because I think we spent so much time, but that was deep. I feel like sometimes we're embarrassed or ashamed to talk about certain things.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And
That's also
Okay.
part of culture. Like, you
yeah,
can't talk about certain things because you're
everything has
ashamed
to-
of family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why is it that okay, we're all moms here, right? So we can talk about a few things that mom goes through, right? Let's talk about conceiving. Sometimes some people have hard times conceiving, right? But I feel like culturally for me, I know like they be like, shh, somebody is doing somebody in someone's village. Don't tell anybody. Yeah, like you know. So
Oh man.
so yeah, so you I think you kind of you're Haitian, right? So
Yes.
everyone should know she's
So
Haitian.
that's why I say
And Levita is she's African by adoption. So she's like my best friend since you're 13. So she eats African food. She knows language. So she's like partially like she's African. Like, yes.
My name is Busala.
I can't.
Yeah.
Don't forget it.
Don't forget it. Stamp. Yeah. So I feel like conceiving it sometimes like they don't want to talk about it, and that's fine. But then like there's another part like I feel like miscarriage. Like a lot of people like I feel like that. No one wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
Why do you guys think? Like okay, so I had one.
Same.
You did too?
Yeah. And as you talk about it's pretty
Don't cry,
recent.
okay?
I ain't gonna cry, girl. I got one thug tear sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so
and I
sorry to
haven't
hear.
really talked about it much. So
Okay.
as you talk, I'm like, yeah, girl, I and it's like it's hard to talk about, because I know even for myself, it's like I'm kind of strange working on it.
Yeah.
But I don't like too much sympathy.
Okay. You don't like too much attention on that. Like,
yeah.
okay.
I don't want you feeling bad for me.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing that you did wrong.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of things like my, I mean, I don't think my parents are gonna see this, but you know, I ain't tell them. So it's the whole talk. It's like the whole.
If you don't feel
talk
comfortable, you don't. I just want to let you know.
yeah.
That.
No.
Okay. Okay.
So it's a thing I know, at least in my family, it was my mom. Sorry, mom. But she'd be the type to be like, you were running around too much. You were lifting too much. You wasn't eating well. Somehow it becomes your fault.
Your fault.
Yeah. And so I know that's one of the reasons why I kind of don't want to talk about it too much with certain people.
Okay.
But I do know culturally,
it's like an embarrassment.
Yeah.
Like for me, like I had my son, as you know, he's 12, and after having him, I kind of got married. I say kind of for a reason, but kind of got married. Not married anymore, but we tried to have kids, and the doctor were telling me that like unless the doctor's told, unless I have a miracle, that's the only way that I can have a child. Mm-hmm. So I already like started getting like I'm not gonna lie, I kind of gave up hope, and the reason why is like I really did want I just wanted one more child. Like I grew up like I'm gonna have 3, 4, 5 until I grew up. Yeah, that's my mind changed, and I wanted multiple kids, but then. Just to have a second one, I don't know what it was, is I just wanted it really bad. Like, you know how, like, you just want something really bad. Then the doctors say, like, I went from specialist to specialist to specialist. I did test after test. They all said I could not have kids.
Ooh, look at God.
Won't he do it? But here's the thing. So for me, it was kind of traumatic. Mm-hmm. So then I do conceive. And then I have to miscarriage. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, wait, hold on. Yeah. First of all, I went to this doctor. After this doctor, God, you blessed me. You proved that you had the final say. Yeah. And then I lose it. So that whole thing was super painful. Yeah. And I didn't get the chance to process it. Yeah, yeah. Because if I did, it's like, shh, why are you telling people that? Yeah. Or like, that's something shameful. Yeah. It ain't my fault. Yeah. I didn't do anything.
And it's hard to even like you say, to process it, just to wrap your mind around it. Yeah. Even for myself, like you will, I don't know if everybody else does this, but I do this. Dang, this month I would have had another baby. Like,
yeah. Oh my God. You know what I do? I wonder if it was a boy.
Yeah.
Or, I wonder what he or she would be like. And I hate when they're like, well, if you were that far along, I don't care.
Yeah, no, it still was, it still happened.
It still happened. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Life is.
That's what I'm saying. You stay in that therapy. They're in that therapy forever. Then let's talk about postpartum. Baby, she threw her head back.
Girl.
It's a thing. It's a real thing. First of all, let me take a sip. First of all, can we just cheers?
You know what?
So, postpartum, right? A lot of people don't talk about either. They don't talk about that. I don't know why, because it is a real thing, right? So, postpartum is a real thing. And I want to say that there's a lot of emotions as women that we go through after having kids. And it's very important to have a supportive partner, supportive friends, supportive, is it your church family, to understand. Because everyone's pregnancy journey looks different. Everyone's delivery journey looks different. Like, I almost died having my daughter. Like, you know, and I think I shared with you, like, I had so many medical conditions, like, we were not supposed to be here. It's only the grace of God. So I needed time to process that after. I needed time to heal from that, right? So about healing. And I needed to process. And sometimes it doesn't take 1 month. It don't take 2 months. Sometimes it could take a whole year, maybe even more.
Yeah.
Because my daughter's 5, and sometimes I feel like
it just happened.
It just happened. I'm like, wait, hold up. I ain't get over that part. You know, like, what's your thoughts on that? Like, I feel like postpartum is a real thing. And sometimes it's taken, like, super, like, some people, depending on how many kids they have prior, learning to manage, like, their new life and her hormones. Sorry, can't speak. My hormones was, like, out of whack for a very long time. Like, I think they just got back to, like, being I. And I feel like sometimes I'm about to lose it. Like, what do you think? Like, because you have more of the, how old is your daughter?
My daughter will be 2.
All right, so you're the newer mom.
Yeah.
Tell me how your hormones
say, like, it takes a while. I truly feel like I'm still, hormonally, things are still finding its way. Everything changes.
It does.
So, like, I experienced the shedding, you know, my edges are still, they just chuck the deuces, you know. Like, I even experienced, like, dryness of the scalp. It's still here and there. So, trying to figure that out. Your cycle. Completely changed.
Completely.
So, my body, when I tell you, I literally, for months, was getting up out the bed and things was cracking. Snap, crackle, and pop. I was like, Rice Krispies over here. Like, I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm broken. So seriously. And I'm like, you know, a lot of times hearing, like, how my mom and everybody else talk about childbearing or, the healing, they're always like, yeah, after I had that child, this never been the same. My hips, this and that.
Yeah.
So, and that's how I felt. I had this lower back pain. It literally took a whole year.
Yeah.
To go away.
Yeah.
And I went to the doctor. And it'll be the day that you go to the doctor, there's no pain.
Right? Yeah, I know. They're like, what's wrong with you?
I'm like, I promise you.
Yesterday, I'm telling you, it was hurting this bad. I couldn't move it. Right.
Yeah. So it's a lot of things. Then culturally, there's a lot of remedies they want to do. So we have it's a whole thing.
We do too.
So even with that, it's like, do I listen to my parents and do the cultural Haitian remedy thing?
Right.
Do I do the American doctor thing?
Sticking to Haitian, I think I agree.
So it's a lot of things, like you say, the support system. When I tell you, as annoying as my mom can be, she really held me down. Because I'm like, knowing her story when she got married and had us kids or whatever, she didn't have support system. Her mom was still in Haiti, so she was here thugging it out on her own. And after I had the first one,
right,
and she helped me, so I'm like, how did you do this by yourself?
Right.
Like, to get up and cook and prepare the baby, then to pump, then breastfeed, then you gotta wash and clean and then bottles. And
it takes a village.
Oh my God, how was I gonna do it by myself? So I truly do that support system. And there's things that your spouse can't do for you.
That's true.
You know, so you do need, I had some friends that just the checking up.
Yeah.
Calling me, hey, are you okay?
Yeah.
Do you need extra rest? I'll come watch the baby for a second.
Yeah. Yeah.
The things that an extra hour of sleep will do.
Yeah.
So
I got that support that you're talking about with my son, but there were circumstances that didn't allow me to have that support with my daughter.
yeah.
So I was all alone.
Yeah.
With raising my daughter.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, it was rough.
Girl.
Yeah. And the thug tear that you got, I think I got one. It's about to come out now. But like,
yeah.
So it was rough.
Yeah.
And it did make me appreciate certain things that I had before. But then also inside, I was just very like angry, and I was very like I had emotions. I was angry.
Mm-hmm.
I was sad, and first of all, I was going through like hell. So raising our daughter and just like figuring it out.
Yeah.
I woke up every day and I just figured it out.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's like today is not yesterday. Yesterday ain't tomorrow. We gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Ooh, Lord.
I hardly had no sitters. Like when I tell you sleep, I ain't know what that was.
But girl, I'm just getting my sleep back.
I'm not getting it back at all. I don't sleep.
When I say getting some sleep back, I went from, pumping and everything, you sleeping every 2 hours. And
That's true.
When I got to 4 hours of sleep, I was like, ooh, that felt great. Now I'm like to 6 hours, and I'm like, I feel alive again. I know. It sounds so pathetic. We need 8 hours sometimes.
We really do as moms, though.
Yeah.
Because first of all, a mom's job is a job that you don't get vacation from.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you're on vacation, you're still a mom.
Yeah.
Like, oh, so Johnny's so-and-so, they're going to call you probably to ask you. They're going to text you. You as a mom, you have to check on your kids. You never have a vacation.
There's no
unless you have a mom partner.
Yeah.
That be like, I got this.
Yes, yes.
And most men, I love y'all.
But baby, I need a little training.
Yeah. and I think God just made us that way.
Yeah.
Us women, we're smart creatures. We're nurturing.
Resilient.
We just resilient. Some other words. Some other words.
Strong, powerful.
Some adjectives. Yeah.
Right. Strong, powerful. God made us that way for a reason. Because you imagine, like, if guys were women and women were guys,
They would not make it. They would not make it.
No, they don't.
I think the human being existing will stop. I don't think they would have kids. Yeah, I don't think they could bear it.
No, they can't bear it. That's why God didn't make them that way.
Mm-hmm.
God didn't make, but I do see some men that kind of trying. I'm like,
They
wow.
try, yeah.
I'm
The
like, oh,
effort, like, it goes a long way. Just the effort.
Yeah, like even if you're trying good, just try.
Just try, yeah.
I'll pick up wherever you left off. Like, and that's what it's supposed to. Thank you. Girl. See, that's why they call us twins. I know. That's what partnership is.
Yeah.
That's how God has intended a relationship to look like. It's not supposed to be perfect, but if there's like unhealthy stuff going on and strive, God can't dwell there.
Just say the mom's cup should always be empty.
No.
It shouldn't always be empty.
Oh, it shouldn't.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying it shouldn't. I'm like, no. I'm like, no. You're like, yes. I'm like, everybody okay?
No, it shouldn't. And we do be empty.
No, we're empty like
You just be walking around like zombies. Okay, we gotta make sure we okay, we gotta make sure this baby got milk and Pampers and wipes and stuff.
Yeah, and you're constantly what they're going to eat. What activity they're going to do.
Yeah.
Oh, their eye is looking this way. Let's go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Sorry. That. My 5-year-old, first of all, she does not sleep. I still don't get sleep. She doesn't. She's okay. She wakes up on time, ready to go. 5 a.m. What we doing?
Training.
Hello, alarm clock. Like, she's just not asleep. Like, she's not a sleeper.
Yeah.
Like him, when I had my son, he was like, I'll be like waking him up, the baby, all right?
Yeah.
Like, because he'll sleep through the whole right. But she doesn't sleep, there's the sleep deprivation is just like, that affects anyone, not just women. It affects men. If you don't get enough sleep, you're irritable, like you're cranky, you're tired, and then you're trying to navigate life. That's why mommy brain comes. That's where that comes from. The mommy brain, parenthood is no joke.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
When I tell you what, And I hate that I always have to use ghetto, but I call it ghetto so much because I'm like, ain't no way this is life.
Yeah.
Like,
what about the moms that have like 10 kids?
I don't know how.
But God gives you what you can handle. Because He knows that I can handle.
Are you sure about that?
I don't know.
Are you sure about
I
that?
don't know. I think so. I think so.
Because I definitely feel like I'm gonna use my grandmother for example. My mom's mom. She had 2 sets of twins.
Ooh.
I think it was a total of 10 or 11 altogether. I'm like, how is she doing?
But you also, I
know
think
what?
about
Oh, sorry. I didn't talk about that. I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
See, girl, we're definitely twins in another life. I think so. Back then, there was a lot more help, though.
Yeah, yeah.
And the world wasn't like the way it is now. Even me, like back to my time, me and my sister, I grab her, we catching the bus, we walking, and we was little.
It was fine. Yeah.
We was little. Go ahead, sorry, go ahead. You was about to say something.
Literally what you were saying. Like, I was thinking about my grandmother, but she was, born in Haiti, had her kids in Haiti. When they say it takes a village, they literally had a village because neighbors were genuine neighbors who everybody functioned as a family.
Yeah.
If that family had no milk, you're giving it to them. If they had to go to, it's a country, so you take care of the animals and your crops and whatever. Somebody's watching your kids.
Right.
They had they call them bun. It's like a slave, but it's
right.
It sounds weird.
Right.
But you had like a house slave that I hate using slave. But you had a help.
We had that too. I think Nigeria and house help.
So the person literally is like the second wife or second mom in the house. Mm-hmm. You have that help. And then over there, they don't have like rent and mortgage and taxes. So it was different then, in another country. But even here, back in the day, everything was as expensive.
That's true.
I feel like there's always been violence, but things weren't so bad.
Yeah.
We're so
something right now, for sure.
I disagree.
Yeah?
I think it was almost equivalent or even worse back then.
Really?
Yes.
I think it was a different type of worse, though.
It was. You have to think about slavery. When slavery ended, all the segregation, all the lynching, and it still happens now, but it's not as bad.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about that. Yeah, I was thinking about that. After let's bring it to the 1980s, so like around
when we were being like
raped. Or even like when my parents came to America. What year was that? Girl, I don't know.
Before you was born.
It was actually before I was born. But let's say like 1980s. Let's say around the 1980s. I was born in 88. So whatever. When
disclosing your
I mean,
I'm disclosing everything.
I'm black, don't crack. That's all that matters.
I don't know that private information.
But like back then, like my father would explain how, I'm thinking of prices of things, like the price of milk. The bus was like 5 cents. Like, buying a home
but that's
was
inflation, though.
Yeah.
It's a cost of living.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
I don't know. I just feel like things are.
It's definitely not the way it was, and raising a kid in this type of environment too is different. It's challenging, because when things go up, you got to think that things are going to go up for them too. The cost of taking care of them, the cost of taking care of yourself, the whole family. Like before, it was like 49 cents for cheeseburgers. Like, I mean, I'm more on the healthier eating side.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, it's just like it's difficult, and we have to find. So let's leave off on a positive. Out of everything that we have said. What is one positive thing? I can go first, or Tati can go first, or Peter can go first. What is one positive thing, or something you can tell the younger folks, or our watchers, or our fans, that they can take away, just in general, from everything that we have spoken?
Go ahead,
about. We can make it brief.
Doctor.
Go ahead, Doctor.
I would say we haven't used this word, I didn't hear it. It's overcoming.
Ooh.
And perseverance.
Nice.
I feel like with the healthy boundaries, or going through the miscarriage or the postpartum,
right.
It's all about overcoming. And with having God, as the main source in your life, that you can definitely overcome whatever is going your way, because he did not put us here to fail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something that I think they can take is when we're talking about accountability, not only just being accountable for yourself, but having an accountability partner,
Yeah.
friends that are accountable for
that's
one another. You know, having that
Yeah.
in your circle, it makes a big difference. You know, being able to reflect on yourself,
Yeah.
self-reflection is a huge thing.
Right.
Having someone to like, you know, shake you up, like wake you up and tell you about yourself.
Yeah.
I think that is a good thing. So try to, you can't, I don't know, because look for that, but try to have that in your circle.
I like that. And I feel like for me, the takeaway will be just evaluating everything and everyone in your life. Does this person qualify to go to the next chapter of my life?
Where's the contract?
You're going to sign it? Does this person qualify? And if they don't, and it's okay to do that. I promise you.
It is.
Because you'll be a healthier you, better version of yourself, and you'll give you the opportunity to meet like-minded people. If you're looking for a partner, to meet God's choice.
Yes.
All right. So, guys, what do we do here? We validate, educate, empower.
I can't.
One talk at a time. All right, guys. Thank you for joining. This show was sponsored by Self Care is a Priority LLC. I'm gonna link everything in my in the bottom in the description box. And if you're interested in purchasing some of their merchandise, you can do that. You can find them on Instagram and Facebook as Self Care is a Priority LLC. All right, guys. From Ashes to Beauty podcast, and we're out.